In my opening video, I mentioned that you probably have heard the statistic of 50% of all marriages in the United States end in divorce. Well, class, that number, 50%, well, it's more complicated than just half of all marriages end in divorce. In fact, we are now seeing fewer married couples divorce than we have since the 1970s. So recently, the divorce rate is actually declining. It might surprise you to hear that, and it might surprise you too to hear that more or less, approximately 45% of married couples will divorce. But as we look at these numbers, it is so much more complicated than just throwing out arbitrarily 45% or 50% as the catalyst, as the number that we should focus on for the rate of divorce in the United States. It's more complicated because, in part, fewer people, as we have learned, are getting married. That is playing a role in the numbers who are divorcing. Additionally, when you look at divorce rates, some generations, like the baby boomers, have higher divorce rates than other generations. That doesn't mean other generations, like millennials, are better, nor does it mean they are worse at marriage. It just means that because of different life experiences, because of the different times in which these particular folks have lived, then they are having different experiences within the marriage institution. They have different values, they have different beliefs, and as you know, sociologically, our values and beliefs, they are intertwined with the time period in which we live, the generation that we are a part of. So there are other external factors that play a role in the divorce rate at any given point in time. It's also true that we could bring into the conversation now the pandemic, COVID-19. What is COVID-19 doing to the divorce rate in the United States? Time will tell, but is it likely that the pandemic has caused some couples to go ahead and divorce? Yes. Is it also just as likely that the pandemic has caused some couples to come and grow closer together and avert divorce? Yes, the same thing can be true here. When we think about divorce and divorce rates, we can look at other variables, for example, race. As sociologists looking at the data, we know that Native Americans and African Americans are more likely to divorce than other racial groups in the United States. They have a higher propensity to divorce than other racial groups. So when we think about the numbers and we look at the numbers, I want you to keep in mind that it's more convoluted than just, hey everybody, 50% of first marriages end in divorce. It's a much more complicated subject, it's a more complicated understanding, and sociologists continue to try to grapple with the complications and to understand divorce more clearly in terms of quantifiable data.